former Minister of Youth and Sport, he says we are everywhere and nowhere, and indeed that's what it is. If you don't make an effort to be there, you are nowhere. Because once you are cross-cutting, they say, oh, you are everywhere, you are addressed in health, in education, in agriculture. But unless an effort is made, just like, that's why I listened to Kale very well. And this time it looks like you're going to be more focused. And we can learn from you, you can learn from us.
I saw them of President Jammeh's support at all times, saying youth issues occupy top spot on his priority list.
We need to change a mindset, not just the educational system, looking at that aspect, because apprenticeship, I always tell my colleague when I chat with him, I think is critical, because that's where we are sure that the youths would make a difference. And that's where we are sure that the youths would have jobs created for them. Because that is the future. That has potentials. There are opportunities there.
The Vice President urged the youth to venture into the informal sector of the economy, which has great potentials and opportunities. The event will be held in Janjambure in December and will attract delegates from all the regions of the country for a week of activities ranging from conferences to sports and cultural events. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
The National Assembly's Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committee has adopted the annual report and financial statement of the National Environment Agency from the year ended 31st December 2010 and 2011. As Mama J reports, the NEA's report was given a clean bill of health after a thorough scrutiny.
This is their second appearance in this session. The NEA, according to members of the PAG and PEC committees, has this time satisfied the submission requirements. Executive Director, National Environment Agency Mamadou Sarr was then given the green light to present the agency's 2010-2011 reports in summary. For the former NEA Admin and Finance Director, Buli Mustafa Adiba, the issue of inadequate funds is one of the challenges the agency is battling with in its daily operations.
So what we do is, if this GRA money is not in, we will borrow from the projects to pay salaries. By the time the GRA money is in, sometimes other commitments are also there. It's not enough to pay the salaries, to pay Social Security, to pay the income tax, and to do other commitments for the agency.
Speaker after speaker rose to make their points clear shortly after the presentation by the external auditor.
Among the list of items we recommended and we expressed our concerns were the low pay scale, which was taken care of according to the Executive Director's report, the environmental tax on second-hand goods, the auditor's recommendation, the $1 environmental tax on all employees receiving salaries of $700, Social Security benefits, the anti-littering regulation, NEA Area Council partnership, the establishment of the board, fixed asset register, cost of EIA forms, and sensitization programs. Honorable Chair, all these things have been implemented according to their 2010 report, except two. That is the NEA Area Council Partnership. The Executive Director hasn't commented on that, and the establishment of their board.
In 2009, 2010, 2011, you have not been receiving any environmental tax, and there are taxes that have been levied on people on these environmental issues. That is my doubt. I don't know how those monies are related and how those monies are collected.
Because if you look at the Bakote dump site, with all the resources that was spent to clean it up, it seems it is going back to where it was.
He said in years to come, maybe the Western world, they are on the verge of recycling these products or goods. And then if things should change overnight, I don't know what plans do you have?
NEA officials were commended for their commitment and dedication to duty, even as one of the least paid parastatal in the country with 18 master's and double master's degree holders.
As a parastatal, the least paid in this country, I applaud them for being very patriotic for that.
So a lot of efforts must be done to control the illegal selling of these pesticides.
We have been told about the difficulties that the agency experiences when it comes to receiving their share of environmental tax on second-hand goods, on personnel, and also their share of revenue from sand mining. But perhaps it would be useful to the joint committees to know if in the first place the National Environment Agency has established the quantum of resources that are receivable from those that are responsible for collection in the first place.
Having noted some of the concerns raised by the lawmakers, this is what the NEA team has to say.
When the issue of royalty was mentioned, I could see a lot of concern was really put on it. Royalties, as you are told, is given to 3 people or 3 institutions. The institutions are the council where the activity took place, which takes 50% of the monies derived from the function. 40% goes to geology as the supervisor of the activity or the custodian of the entire exercise.
Even the GRA payments, the $75 on second-hand goods, that was accumulated for 3 years or 4 years that we were not paid. We wrote to the office of the president and they asked finance to explain why this was not paid. When we met with them, they said the money was used. So we had to start from 2000, when was it? 2007. But the collection that was made before that, we have not received a dollar from that.
Although it was not an easy ride for the NEA, who were rated non-compliant by the GPPA, however, the agency was praised for what deputies call a brilliant performance.
Be it resolved that this joint session of the Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committees adopts the annual reports and financial statements of the National Environment Agency for the years ended 31st December 2010 and 31st December 2011. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Not in favor, say no. The ayes have it. I want to say that we are impressed with your performance and your ability, your insight into the field. You are very eloquent, you are very informed, and your presentation was excellent.
The legislators further urged institutions to comply with the GPPA Acts and regulations. Mama J, GRTS.
The National Agency for Legal Aid has convened a desensitization meeting on access to legal aid and alternative dispute resolution for a cross-section of the people from the West Coast region. Famara Fofana witnessed the interactive session and he now reports.
The Brikama Convergence on Legal Aid in the Gambia brought together a cross-section of the people of the West Coast region, including chiefs, community heads, imams and other opinion leaders. The forum, according to Governor Lamin Sane of the West Coast region, is very important, observing that even whereas the amicable settling of disputes at the local level has long been a deep-rooted feature in our society, he thinks the meeting was crucial at a time when those virtues of yesteryears are being eroded with changing times.
I know where imams are involved in anything, obviously, they can pave a way, they can make a difference. And where the chiefs also are involved and alcalos, they can inculcate good values and morals in our young children who are growing up. Because those children are the future leaders of this country. And they must be highly disciplined. They must understand our principles and values as young children. So when they grow up, they grow with that.
Speaking on the provision of legal aid services, Senior Legal Officer Udumo Oledi explained that the primary objective of the scheme is to ensure the provision of legal aid services to persons charged with an offense which carries a death sentence or life imprisonment, and to those under the age of 18, as well as those whose monthly earnings are less than $1,000. The Executive Director, Alternative Dispute Resolution Secretariat, Penda Jibril, made it crystal clear that her institution handles only civil cases and not those that are criminal. She took time to underline the benefits that are inherent in alternative dispute resolution, notably confidentiality coupled with a relaxed environment devoid of legal technicalities.
The type of civil cases we handle in ADR are commercial